I'm going to share quick tips to help you shoot and edit your own photos. It really has never been easier to DIY your marketing. There are so many great programs, apps, and tools to help you create high quality content without breaking the bank. A big part of that is your photography. For me personally, I found that I get far more engagement on social media on my crappy iPhone photos of me in the moment with a messy bun, drinking a glass of champagne. Actually, I have one of those where I'm in a dressing gown, drinking a glass of champagne. And honestly, that was one of the more engaging posts that I'd done. iPhone photos of me in the moment as opposed to branded high quality ones can be far more engaging. Now this is cool because it means you don't need to break the bank to get engagement on social media. With that in mind, today I thought I would give you some quick tips to help you shoot and edit your own photos. I'm going to break this down into two main categories, shooting and editing. So let's dive in. For shooting, use the functions on your phone. You'd be amazed at what you can do within your smartphone. Here are a few tips. Number one, get familiar with the settings in your phone. A few examples I love. The grid function, so that you shoot straight. You can always straighten things up in editing, but it helps to get things as straight and in line as possible while you're taking photos. Use portrait mode to get more depth of field in your shots. And another quick tip, you can adjust the exposure while you're taking the photo by clicking and holding on your iPhone. Super simple, quick little tips to get the best shot from your smartphone. The second thing to think about is aiming for natural light where possible. Everything feels better in natural light, so go where the light is, my friend. Number three, touch the screen to focus on a particular point in the frame. Super simple and easy, but it makes a big difference. And number four, when taking selfies, a tripod that has a light attached is a big plus, and it helps to keep everything even. So if you do things where you're filming yourself or you're taking videos or photos of yourself, then having a tripod with a light just makes things look pro. If you want to take the quality of your photos to the next level, then I have a quick tip for you. You can shoot within the Lightroom app so your photos are higher quality. My photographer buddy Kira, who does a lot of my brand shots, told me this, and it's a game changer. It means that your shots are in high resolution when you go to edit them, which means you've got more capacity to tweak things. Another thing, when shooting for Instagram stories, use the filters and effects within the Instagram app. And don't forget to shoot vertical if you're shooting for stories and social media. So that's all my tips on shooting. But for editing, we need to get started. And what I want you to do, the first thing, is find the apps that work for you. For editing, you honestly can't go past Lightroom Mobile, which is the app I mentioned before. The free version is amazing and it's great to use on your phone. There are plenty of other apps like VS and Afterlight, but Lightroom is the industry standard for photo editing, so I always opt for that. So when you found your app, you want to edit within that app and you want to get familiar with that app. Now, once you've shot your photos, open your app of choice and start editing. Here are a few things to look at straight away. Straightening and cropping your photos can take an okay photo to a great one in seconds. Be sure to crop them for social media, which is 4:5 for the feed and 9:16 for Instagram stories. Another thing to do is to apply what we call a preset, which is essentially a filter. Lightroom helps you achieve the perfect Instagram aesthetic by allowing you to apply the same presets to your images. There are free ones, but you can also purchase beautiful presets online, and you can even get ones that are tailored for your specific service or industry. You also want to look at adjusting the exposure for each. Now, exposure is really kind of a fancy word for brightness. This is where you choose how much light is in each photo, so you can mess with that as well, which is probably the thing you want to adjust on every post. Then you want to customize the white balance, which is your warmth and your tint. So you want to mess with those dials. And again, in Lightroom, it's so intuitive. You just do it with your hand. It's so easy to tweak those things. You found your app of choice, you've edited your photos. The third thing you want to do is check the photos against your other ones to ensure your edits are consistent. Now, it's important to keep your look and feel consistent in your marketing and in your social media. So what I do is I use the same Lightroom presets for all my photos to keep everything on brand. This is also where scheduling programs come in handy because you can preview your Instagram grid before you post. So then you know, that one is a little bit darker than the others. I'm going to quickly edit that again and pop it back in. You can tweak it based on how they look in relation to one another, which is a win-win. Now, remember, you can check out my free guide to check out presets and other apps that I recommend by visiting mymarketingplaybook.com/free resources. And there's a free ebook that has all of the apps I use in there. So that's where I recommend you start with shooting and editing your own photos. I cannot wait to see what you create. Go get 'em.